Hello and welcome to the tennis for another week live from Rod Laver Arena. Big week of tennis news. Jannik Sinner returns to massive fanfare at the Foro Italico, and Madrid champ Casper Ruud opens up about his mental health journey. And tarot tennis, what does that mean? Brie will fill us in later. But that's ahead with me. Joining me once again, John Fitzgerald with a new hip.
Yes, I do. Well, it's new 7 weeks ago. I'm feeling better.
Great.
Feeling better, yeah. A little bit more traumatic than I thought it would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, they didn't knock you
Maybe
out for
my
it?
pain threshold's not that high, but it's been good. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in the surgeon and...
You're doing
I'm
lots
gonna
of
be a new
swimming,
man.
don't they
No,
say that's really good after hip?
Yeah, but there's a problem if you sink when you swim,
Oh.
which I do.
Oh.
Fitz
I
is
can't
actually
swim.
48%
Oh,
lead.
really? I didn't realise that.
Well, I've got 6 inches of titanium now, so
Right. Iron Man.
that might make you swim. It's light, though.
Okay, I hope so. You'd be fun at airport
It's not going to
security.
improve my swimming. Airports are a problem. I have to be very upfront.
Well,
Yeah.
good. Well, great to have you
Thank you.
back.
Thanks, Ed.
And last time he was here, he was heading off to a wedding, and now he's back. Luke Saville, welcome home.
Thanks, guys. Good to be back. And yeah, I made it home from the Philippines. So,
Bit warm?
oof, was it ever? 4 days, big sweater, high humidity. The wedding suit was a challenge
Okay.
Yeah.
on wedding day, but yeah, got through it. Put that suit straight into the dry cleaning when I got home.
Very good.
Yeah.
And Dasha was a bridesmaid.
Dash was a bridesmaid.
How'd she go?
Well, yep. I had to tell her not to be the center of attention for that one day.
And she didn't listen to you, did she?
She didn't. She never does. But yeah, she was. She had an absolute blast, and yeah, destination wedding. Hadn't sort of the first one I've been to, and
Yeah.
highly recommend going to the Philippines.
Yeah,
All right, noted.
nice.
All right, put that on the list. And joining me as always is co-host with the most, it's Brie Stewart. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to have you back.
You were in my seat last week, weren't you?
I was. I got
Yeah.
a lot of good feedback.
Yeah, I actually got
You
some
didn't
too, and
like
I
it.
was fine. I was very happy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't
all right.
angry at all.
You're okay.
Yeah, cool. No, it's all right. We share the load. It's all good.
We do.
All right, well, let's jump straight into the thick of it of the tennis news. What caught your eye this week? Fitzy, hit us off.
Well, Jannik Sinner.
Huge.
Yeah. Returning after his 3 months off and starting at his home championship. Gee, it's a big event, the Italian Open. We remember playing there. I can remember last century playing there, and what a great event in all aspects. So it's a big thing for Italian tennis to have him back, big thing for world tennis to have him back. And I'm an unabashed fan of his. So, you know, I always felt, I'll touch on it briefly, but I always felt if you could prove where where you tested positive, you can prove it, and it's not intentional, and you can prove that, and you can also prove that it's not performance enhancing. I think, you know, he proved his case well, and the system needs to work like that. You can't just assume everyone is guilty, because there are people that are not. So I think he's a great leader of our sport. I know he's a quality person. Have the inside running on that very clearly, and I'm rapt that he's back. I love watching him play. I think he's just great for the sport. So it's a big week this week for
Yeah,
him,
well, I
and
think-
for him and all of us.
Much like any kind of legal thing, there has to be some sort of right of appeal. There needs to be a procedure in place, and it sounds like that's what happened.
Well, he proved it.
Yeah.
And you know,
And that was the burden of proof. That was the level, and he hit it.
Well, it doesn't mean that innocent people don't get off, but in this case, it seems to me like the system worked,
Yeah.
and that's what you want. You want a system that works. If you can prove, and maybe other innocent people haven't been able to prove, and therefore it becomes word against word, doesn't it? But look, let's move on from that. I think that's the downside
Yeah, the
part
exciting
of it.
bit is
The exciting bit is
Italian
he's back.
fans and
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
thrilled.
And he's enormous for the sport. His record could end up, you know, as big as some of the game's greats, and it could over time.
Do you both think him having some time off will make his game stronger?
Yeah, I keep going back and forth on expectations for him, especially the next few weeks. And obviously coming back straight into the highest level of the game, he's going to have a bye. So he'll play someone that's got matches under their belt. So, but obviously playing at home as well, that'll give him an extra leg as well. So I think, you know, probably lower expectations for him this first week. I'll be interested to see if he doesn't play many matches, if he takes a wild card into a 250 the week before the French Open. So just sort of monitor that one. But
With your coach's hat on, would that be your recommendation?
Maybe if he doesn't get enough matches this week.
yeah, I think,
Yep.
you know, if it's probably 2 or less matches, I feel like they'd sort of explore that option a little bit. But, only 3 months out. The season is so long, and I actually think it probably gave him an opportunity to freshen up a little bit and come into the French Open ready and raring to go, where there's a few injury clouds amongst the top of the game.
Yeah. Look, 3 months off is a long time. For
It is
tennis
a long
player.
time.
But there are, there's so many cases where the rest periods are not long enough in our sport, and there's no real off season, and players that have toured, like this young fella here next to me, know how physically debilitating it can be. So I think not necessarily will it help him in the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe it will, but I'm not so convinced there. But in the second half of the year, that 3 months off might make a big difference.
Yeah.
But that 3 months, like he's not sitting on a beach sinking Aperol spritzers. Like he'd be working his bum off
Training.
in that time to keep
Mate,
fit.
Darren Cahill's been in Monte Carlo for more than 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks, they've been working hard.
Yeah.
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 My other question is a bit off tennis. Can you imagine the energy right now in Rome with the conclave
You
as
got
well?
conclave going on. You got Sinner back.
Yeah.
Sinner for Pope.
Well, there might be another statue. There'll be Zeus too. There'll be at one end of the stadium.
Yeah, put some white smoke up. Is that a new Pope? Nope, Sinner's just won the final. There he is.
Orange smoke. Yeah.
Burn some carrots. Nah, very good. Fitzy, anything else to add on old mate Sinner?
No, I just happen to be a fan of the good guys of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you're sitting next to one.
Well, yeah, I am. Absolutely. I've said that before in this public forum. And,
Trying to make Luke blush. It's not working.
And I don't say it when I don't mean it, by the way. So I think we've been blessed in the men's game over the last 20 or 30 years. We've had some great leaders of the sport, and this is one of the new ones.
Yeah.
And he can be that locomotive that takes the game along into the next level. And if you've got a good character at the top of the game, I think it helps enormously.
Yeah, definitely. Having someone for younger players, young kids to look up to.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, Fitz, you're going to play devil's advocate real quick.
Mm.
Do you think it's a coincidence that his 3 months ran, or the duration was between after the Australian Open and days before the Rome Masters, his home tournament?
Fair question, as a devil's advocate. If you read and know the information, you'd have to say no, because the governing body, it's up to them to make that decision eventually. Yep. And so if you know about the appeals and the chronological order of how it all happened, I would say no, but I'm not party to the exact information there.
It is convenient, though, isn't it?
Nice and convenient.
Yeah.
See, that's the suspicious side.
But it
of
gives
human
us something
nature.
to talk about. Yeah. Love a conspiracy.
I like your jacket, by the way.
Thanks for that. I just found it outside because I forgot to iron the
Nice
t-shirt.
change of subject, Fitz.
Yeah, Fitzy would be a good lawyer. All right, well, Luke, sticking with you,
Yep.
Casper Ruud, he's your caught your eye. Why
Casper
so?
Ruud. Yeah, I think one of the challenges for Jannik Sinner at the French Open in a couple of weeks, just winning his first ATP Masters 1000 in Madrid, defeating Jack Draper, who's having a fantastic season as well, now top 5 in 3 sets, and he's opened up about his mental health challenges and seeking some advice from a psychologist. And he's quoted here, "It's like personal training for your brain." So I think it's super important to come out and be open and honest like he has, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that as well on tour. And I think from a public's perspective, we put a lot of these players, these professionals, on such a pedestal, which they're incredible athletes, incredible players, and you sort of think, they're doing just fine and making millions of dollars, but everyone sometimes, or some people can be struggling behind quite closed doors. So I think great for him to be open and honest about that, and I feel like he's a real chance at the French Open in a few weeks. The last 3 years, he's gone semis, final. So I think he's a real challenger. One of the best players on the clay. Just moves so well. Such a great forehand. He was playing the UTS in France, where I was a few weeks ago with Alex de Minaur, and he won that, and just one of the best clay quarters there is, and a real chance to win his first slam.
I think he's in that second tier of the top echelon.
Yep. But on clay.
He needs everything to go right for him, I think.
Yeah, I'll probably retract my words a little bit. Like, definitely on the hard court, he's a chance as well. But the French, he is legitimately one of the best clay courters in the world. And I was having a chat
can win.
with
He
one
can
of
win.
my good friends this morning, and he was almost arguing he's the second favourite behind Carlos, and with Jannik's obviously average preparation without playing matches. So he's definitely a chance, and I think
that argument's absolutely legitimate. I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think well done to him for being open about his mental health struggles. I know, like, we'll talk about it as just normal people, but being in the public eye and
under
being
such
that
scrutiny.
open about it. And I was reading too that Jack Draper has come out and talked about his anxiety as well, that he suffers. And, it's just becoming such a big, important topic within tennis and sports.
Yeah, everyone has their struggles, and
general.
just because you're at the top of your game,
I reckon it
doesn't
would make
mean-
it worse. It would
Exactly,
make
you're
it
just
harder.
under such scrutiny from fans, from your detractors, from other players.
Mm.
But just opening up and just being honest with the tennis community, I think it just has a really good opportunity for that dialogue.
I think that tennis community comes from a global community that are just average people initially. Most of them are.
Yeah.
It's a cross-section of a global community. Most of them come from average backgrounds, whatever that actually means.
Yeah.
And they just happen to have a very special skill set in their area, like a lot of people do in this world.
Yep.
Theirs is tennis, and so they're going to have the same struggles as everyone else. Anxiety before you play big matches in front of a big crowd, that's pretty normal. If you weren't nervous, playing on centre court at Wimbledon or any of those big stages, you weren't sort
Well,
of...
you weren't paying attention.
Weren't human.
You weren't normal.
Yeah, exactly. You were the outlier.
But it's great. And Jack Draper, by the way, I take my hat off to him, Luke, because he has had a run this first part of the year. I didn't quite see that coming in the Australian summer, and I've got to admit. And I've always said that if you're not in the top 5, 6, or 7 men players in the world, you can't win a major. And so, therefore, I probably didn't give him a realistic chance of winning a major in the near future. But if he's top 5 now, he's knocking on the door of that top echelon of the sport. Kudos to him as well.
It sort of always felt like he had the game, but maybe just the physical side he lacked potentially. So I felt like at the Australian Open, he still wasn't maybe playing as well as he is right now, but he won a few 5-setters, which proved to me he's in much better shape here and mentally ready to take that next step. And he's playing unreal tennis. Like he's really taking care of some fantastic clay quarters easily. So he's definitely one to watch as well. I'm still not sure best of 5, 7 matches if he can win a slam, but who knows? He might prove me wrong.
Well, speaking of Casper Ruud, he actually was tweeting to another player, Iga Swiatek, who's had some difficulties at the moment. And while I was perusing, as I do, Polish news sites with the help of Google Translate, came across a little article that was pretty broadly picked up around Iga skipping the entire grass season. That has, of course, since been refuted by Iga herself, saying, no. I'm playing Wimbledon. What are you talking about?
I'm glad she is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
But,
am
like,
too.
It would be quite a loss to have an entire grass season, no Iga.
Yeah. And it's going to be the hardest one for her to win, I think, because her game is based around that forehand, and she wants a high bouncing ball generally on that forehand, and grass rushes her a little bit.
Okay.
So it's going to be the hardest surface for her to win on, but if she doesn't go there every year and give it a shake or give it a go, she may never win it. And she wants to give herself the best chance, and that's to play every year, learn every year, and finally, hopefully, Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like she, has had a lot going on recently.
has.
She's, mentioned how a bit of a slump in her form, passing of her grandfather, and a
Yeah.
few other things sort of building up. But it sounds like she's very keen to get back on the court, her happy place essentially.
Yeah.
And use that to help propel her through this and then get onto the hard court.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
We definitely hope she's doing better and plays the grass. And I'm not sure about you, Fitzy, but when you played, I'm sure there were some guys where if you drew them at the French, you almost shake their hand and say, well, you're much better than me, but you're too good. But then you draw them.
There was about 127 in the draw.
You draw them a month later and you're licking your lips and you're saying, oh, this is a good draw.
I got you now.
And I think with all due respect, Iga and Casper are similar in that sense where you draw them at the French and I'd shake their hands before walking out. But Casper's probably one of the better draws for a seed on grass. I think, that's probably a fair comment. His
Especially when
results.
you have a title at Wimbledon, Luke. Right?
Yes, yeah, I was just thinking.
Well done.
Where's
You
he going?
do.
Where's he going with that one?
You do.
Well done.
But yeah, his famous comment was the only grass that he likes is on a golf course.
Sticking with you, Brie.
I am moving to talk about some women who had some wins this week.
Great.
Firstly, I wanted to chat about Naomi Osaka, who won in St. Malo. It was a WTA 125 event. And clay for her is she considers her worst. And last year she was talking about, I remember we talked about it, I think, on the pod, about how she was really focusing on mastering it because she'd always considered it her worst surface and she really, really wanted to get there. Anyway, she won and she put up some really great posts on Instagram. She did some great TikToks about how she was eating it up and she was, it's just really great to see her back.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, she also had some kind of struggles with mental health and that,
100%.
a couple of years ago. And now, look at her now.
Yeah, and this is her first title in 4 years since she's come back after her break from mental health and having a baby. So I'm really excited to see what she can do. She faces Paula Badosa in round 2 at the Italian Open,
Same thing.
having just beaten Sara Errani. Not an easy draw with Badosa, so we'll see what happens there. But the other person I wanted to talk about was Petra Kvitova, who is just back from having her baby, and she has won her first match as a mother. So that's really great as well. And she says she's back for joy, not results. And I think sometimes, we've talked about this lots of times, sometimes when you're playing for fun,
You get the results.
you get more results. Yeah.
Come for the joy, take the trophy home.
So they're just two gals I wanted to call out because I
Beautiful.
think it's really exciting.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Two women out there absolutely killing
I
it.
love both of them.
Yeah.
It's a story of resilience when you
Yeah.
can go through, I think, what Naomi's been through.
Yep.
And what a credit to her. That feeling of winning a tournament happens for most of us very rarely at that level. It's, there are only 6 times I didn't leave. 6 times I didn't leave the tournament as a loser in my career in men's singles. So on the tour. So they're very difficult to win. This will be a beautiful feeling. I would think, for her to win again, and
Especially on clay.
yeah, on clay, it might give her a real, I think, kick along to. I'm not sure if she could ever become what she was before. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Great. And Kvitova, 2-time Wimbledon champion. Yeah, sometimes when you don't expect to win and you don't actually put that as your first priority, you win a little easier. That happens.
Yeah.
That can happen
Yeah.
mentally. So it'll be interesting to see where she goes.
I've got to say, complete sidebar, but one of my favourite things about tennis is that it's the only sport where you literally get the rug pulled out and the surface is different. Like the NBA doesn't suddenly go from hard floors to carpet.
Yeah.
You don't see
You're
lawn.
right. I
But
never
it's
thought of
really
that.
It's a
interesting
great part of the sport.
because hard court, grass, clay, they are completely different things.
And it kind of changes the dynamic of
But
who's
we've still
good
got the
and not,
same
right?
players, but and
Well-
like you were saying, it really flips on its head. This one, he or she is going to absolutely smash at the French, but come Wimbledon, lucky to get through the first round. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the ball variation on a grass court and a clay court is a great part, I think, of our sport. If you have a perfect bounce every time, there's room for a perfect bounce. At the US and the Aussie Open, we get a reasonably perfect bounce. Sometimes they're a little lower or faster, but on the clay and on the grass, there's deviation.
Yeah.
And that's part of learning how to play. I think it's a great nuance for our sport. I love the change of surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes it completely different to any other,
like
other racket sports.
The travelling component as well. And
Yep.
even I think Sasha Zverev spoke about the difference in conditions for clay on clay courts recently. And like he won Munich, and that's historically very heavy and slow courts and nice and cold there. And then you go to Madrid where it's 600 metres altitude, balls flying around and tougher to control. And he's played well at both. So I feel like that's, it's even grass has obviously changed over the years, Fitzy, but just the difference in court speed and mental fortitude as well, and having to, I guess, acclimatise to different time zones. And, Alex de Minaur, for example, and a lot of the players earlier in the year went from Dubai to Indian Wells, and that's an absolute hike, and you've got to prepare and play 4 weeks in the States as well in different conditions. So it's definitely a challenge that I feel like a lot of people don't sort of give enough respect to.
Playing with jet lag. You know, if I can dwell slightly on a great point
Well away.
Luke made on clay. Clay is made from the local area, generally. So you have a quarry in Hamburg that is different to a quarry in Rome. And so you get a different
Consistency.
a different different grain, and it behaves differently. And then you have the climate that kicks in. So if you've got a lot of rain, it's colder in Hamburg than it is in Rome. It reacts differently. All of those things contribute to the nuances of what happens on clay. They're not the same. You know, you think generically they're all the same surface, but they're not. They're very different, and then you go to altitude, it is a whole different ball game, like Luke said.
Yep.
So all of that for me adds to the character, not just of our clay court tennis, but the character of the sport.
Of individual tournaments within that swing.
That's why that's why we love this sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do a quick other whip around the rest of the news. Sabalenka, current queen of the women's game, took another title in Madrid. Pretty impressive.
Yep. It's very impressive.
No thoughts other than that?
Do you know, I love that she keeps winning. I kind of want someone else to win, though, just for the storylines. But I think she's doing really well, and she's obviously playing amazingly, and it'd be interesting to see what we see in Rome.
Yeah, definitely. And young Aussie, Maya Joint, she was actually on the sit-down this week. She made it through the qualies again in Rome. She went down overnight, very tight sets against Emma Raducanu. She's
definitely in it with Emma Raducanu, which is great to see.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think we've actually got a little clip from this week's sit-down. Andy, chuck it in.
Well, you've cracked top 80. What that has done for you, it's just completely changed the way that your schedule and your season is looking. So like walking onto Pat Rafter Arena under lights in front of 5,000 people to play Azarenka, or playing Pegula on John Cain Arena at a Grand Slam. Like 12 months ago, you were nowhere near that.
It's definitely a this is ridiculous kind of moment where I didn't really feel like I was supposed to be there, kind of.
Okay.
Like, it just felt really weird, me being there or playing against Pegula and John Cain. That was walking out into that court, I felt, oh boy, this is, I was like, I'm not winning this match. That's what I was thinking.
Wow, okay.
And I've had to work a lot with my mental coach about just kind of playing those matches, because more of those matches have happened where I'm playing like a name.
Yeah.
And I just need to play the ball that's coming at me and not the person.
Yeah, so my joint there. If you want to listen to the whole interview, jump on your favourite podcasting platform of choice. Look for the sit down, or if you're already a subscriber, hurry up and go listen to it.
I wanted to call out one other person who just won this morning from Australia. Jordan Thompson defeated...
Gee, why are you bringing him up, Brie?
Because I love him.
I know.
Petchy Pericard 3-6-6-3-7-6, and he's up next against Nakashima. So well done, Jordan. Any thoughts from his best mate?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
There's some bias here.
Yeah.
it's great to see Tomo back. He's been dealing with some injury problems lately. I think the latest one was an oblique. I've been speaking a little bit to his coach, Marenko Matosevic, and was struggling in Barcelona with that, and I don't believe he played singles in Madrid. So taking a few weeks to recover, and great to see he's back, and that's definitely a winnable match against Brandon Nakashima. And again, just having an incredible career, Tomo. You know, he was, I guess, playing away in the challenges for a while there, sitting around 70 or 80 in the world, which is having a fantastic career. And I guess the question mark was if he could sort of push into the top 50 and even get seeded at Grand Slams. And I feel like he's changed his game style a little bit, playing a little more aggressive and made a few tweaks, and just, playing great singles and doubles. Yeah. Grand Slam winner in the doubles as well. So fantastic to see him. Very happy for my good mate.
Plenty more of the tennis to come. Stick around. We're going to have a quick break. After that, we're going to have a top 5 and then the ace of the week. Stick around. All right, well, welcome back. I'm in a new seat. There's weird stuff on the table. Are we playing solitaire? I don't know. Brie, over to you.
Aren't you going to, announce it? No, you're going to let me do it.
Yeah, well,
okay.
This is all you. I just want to know why there's crystals here and why it's sticky.
That one's good for protection.
Okay.
So
Has it got honey on it or something? Anyway.
No, it's cold.
So for those who aren't watching on YouTube and are listening, there's crystals on the table.
Yeah.
Brie has tarot cards.
Tarot cards.
Normally this is where we'd be doing a top 5. Go.
Okay, so for the top 5 today, we're going to go through 5 players. And we know that we had great feedback from about 12 months ago when we did horoscopes and players. We thought today we would see how they're going to go at Rome. Am I supposed to play that? Am I?
Okay, so she got theme music. Mystic Brie.
Ooh.
You two have outdone yourself.
They really
Andy.
have.
Love it.
Good work, producers. But we're going to go through 5 players and we're going to pull a card from the deck and we'll talk about how they might go.
Right.
So just so you know, I grew up in a hippie home. I've been reading cards since I was about 15. Tarot there's no bad tarot cards. There are only bad tarot readers. So like lots of people think there's lots of evil around it. It's actually...
So
they're all really
you got to put a good
positive
spin.
cards.
You can put a good spin on every card.
Well, yes.
Sure.
Ish.
Yeah, let's see what we get.
We'll leave that there.
So who are we doing first? What's going on?
No, none of them are bad, but like some mean stuff. Anyway, our first one's going to be... Hang on. Did I get that? Yeah, there we go. I've got the sound right. The first one's
there
going
she
to be
is.
Naomi Osaka. So she is up, firstly, as we discussed, in round 2 with Paula Badoza. So fun fact, she won her first title as a mother last week in France. Again, we just talked about it. So we're going to pull a card. What have we got? Okay, we've got the 3 of Cups.
Okay, so she's going to win 3 trophies.
No, she's going to, I think she might win Badosa because this is the card of celebration. So it means winning, basically.
Right, well, the
like
cards
good
have said it.
things coming.
Not,
They're all
not 3
celebrating.
babies or anything?
No,
Not 3 games.
no, it's just celebration.
Okay.
So I think she's going to win.
Okay.
There we go.
Right.
Well done, Naomi Osaka.
That is great.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
That's a good
Can
win.
you interpret a tarot card any way you want?
What about if you do this and turn it upside down? Doesn't that mean something?
I don't believe in that. It depends on the tarot reader.
it's all very
right?
convenient.
Like it depends on the reader.
Okay.
So some readers believe if they're upside down, it's the opposite. That came out up the right way though.
good.
So regardless, I still think it's celebration. Every tarot card has a story.
Okay.
And the more you start to read them, the more you understand the story. And I've also read a book on the history of tarot cards.
You're becoming very intimidating.
I was just to say you become
Do you know
real
I
nuts.
have predicted people of when they're going to fall pregnant who didn't know they would fall pregnant. I was like, I reckon you're going to be pregnant in April. And she found out in April she was pregnant.
Wow.
She was like, nah, we're not. Yeah,
Nice.
I can be good, not always.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Naomi hopes you are, so that was good. What else you got?
Okay. Number 2, we're going to Rublev, who's one of my faves. He is playing either Fonseca or Marozan. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yep. And fun fact about him is that he slept with his racket as a kid. So we're going to pull a card
going with
for Rublev. I'm not sure how relevant that will be to the cards. Okay.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh.
This card is about how sometimes
called?
it's the 6 of coins or the pentacles, depending what you want to call it. And you can see here on one hand, the man is holding a justice symbol and there's beggars and there's all coins around him. So sometimes this card generally means you need to give to get in return. So I think there's probably some stuff he's going to need to do to win on the court.
Yeah.
And that giving might need to be to himself in terms of self-care.
It may also need to be to his racket.
It could be.
Yeah.
He's been pretty harsh on a couple of rackets. I've
exactly.
seen.
Like he's gone
Yeah.
from
I mean, he used to sleep with them.
sleeping with them and cuddling his racket now to ripping them apart on the court. Okay.
So, yeah, I think he probably needs to give, I reckon it's to himself. He needs to give himself some self-love in order
if
to
he
win
does
on the
that-
court.
Well, you're the reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he does that, your cards
You generally
are saying,
win.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Good on you, Andre.
Okay.
Okay. It's a good win.
Okay, number 3, Ons Jabeur.
I love Ons.
We love Ons. So she's up against someone we were just talking about, Kvitova. Fun fact, she's known as the Minister of Happiness on tour. So let's see if we can give her some happiness based on the cards. Oh, okay. This is the Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of, or is it a different one?
Yeah, it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
We're not guessing any words here. This just means that everything that you need to achieve what you want, you have. It's about how you
So
play
she's
it.
got the tools, just needs to deploy them correctly.
It's how you play it.
Okay.
So it means you can have it all,
Right.
but are you doing what you need to?
Gotcha.
to
So
have
far, these have all sounded very similar to each other.
I knew you were going to say that.
If you can do a thing,
But you know
you
what?
will do the thing.
Do you know what's really interesting? This is Major Arcana. So this is a power card, right? Major Arcana means it sits at the top, and these are like your suits cards.
Oh, okay.
So this is a big card, meaning this. I'm saying the Wheel of Fortune. It's a big card in meaning that like big things are shifting. But this is what fortune telling is. Everything relies on your choices.
Yeah, no, it's
This
great.
could shift tomorrow based on what they choose.
Right, okay, good.
Great. And thank God these are all very positive cards.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I had a
great.
PR
We need
one.
a negative one coming.
Yeah.
Nah.
Show me death.
Stefano. We've got Sissipas. He's
Oh.
up against Muller. Fun fact, he had a near-death experience in 2015 while swimming in Crete. Says it changed his life and he made peace with death. Okay,
Cool.
We might keep shuffling for a bit before
Yeah.
we pull a card based on what we just talked about.
And this card is another trip to Crete. Whoops.
No.
Okay,
He's
good.
got the luck card.
Oh, he's winning.
Just luck.
Sorry, more luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Luke's called it.
It's literally it's the luck
The
card.
Mystic Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitsy.
Yeah.
Well done.
There's not much to say about that.
I mean, he's
So-
won everything else. He's the
I-
handsomest man in the
I
game.
think he'll
he's
beat
the nicest
Muller.
bloke around.
So
and now he's just
far,
got luck.
my predictions would be Osaka will win, Tsitsipas will win. Both Rublev and Ons
If
have
they-
the power to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Which
hope
is
they've got a few extra
possible.
trophies at this event because if everyone's winning,
No, just this next round. Oh, got to pick up a phone call there? Okay, our last one. For Paolini, she is up against Lulu Sun, who
Lulu.
obviously had some good runs last year. Fast fact about Paolini, she is from Tuscany, but Rome is her favourite city in the world. So will Rome be her lucky city?
probably based on these
I was
cards.
looking for her and I didn't realise she was in the ball.
Oh, there she is. Popped up in your little
Okay,
crystal
so
ball.
she's got the Joker.
Okay.
So
This
the-
actually means if she tries, she can win.
no, the
It's all up to
Joker.
her.
It's all up to her.
Do you know what? I'm never reading your tarot. You will never get any assistance with your life.
Mate, I'm sitting pretty.
No, the Joker is about new beginnings. It's about innocence. It's about
That fits.
unbridled joy, and it's also about just going with the flow and seeing what happens. So no
then
real
winning.
answer there.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this is just who she is.
She's a bit of a joker, though,
Yeah, yeah. I would
She's fun.
say, that her personality is embodied by this card.
Right. But
So
so she's not going to win.
I think she's just going to go out in court like she always does and see what happens.
Well, that's insightful.
Yet to be determined.
Okay, TBC card. Good.
Did we enjoy that?
I had a hoot.
Nice, Brie. I'm a bit confused, but so
Do you know
if
it's
they
easier when we do a
all-
layout, guys, and then we go deep levels and then...
Okay, well, for more information on that, check out Brie's upcoming podcast, Mystic Brie and the Bullshittery of Nothing. But
Actually quite good.
no, that was fun, and I enjoyed it. But they,
Something different.
yeah,
But look, I think, it's not going to be bad for any of them,
cool.
which is
Well,
good.
I mean,
We got no
I
swords
was
and we
gonna
got...
ask
Yeah, none of the other ones.
what our aces of the week were. But I think we
good.
can all agree that was
that
everyone.
was. I got
That
to
was-
think of another one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, come on. What do you
Okay.
got, Luke? Ace of the week.
Well, Fitzy and I are both country South Aussies, and my mum, brother, and nephew are coming to the Big Smoke this weekend.
Hooey.
So that's definitely a new experience. And off air, Bree's just told me that Carlton are going to beat St Kilda tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So
No joker cards there.
as a Carlton fan, I'll go to that game now. I was just waiting to see what Bree said. So we're going to go to that one, maybe one or two more games, and just
They will!
They will. Okay, I'm going.
Another luck card.
Yeah.
It's the same card.
All right, we needed that win. So
Yes.
Is there any possibility they may not win?
There always is.
And
Okay.
pull
so,
a card for St Kilda then.
so you can't.
Okay.
You
I
can't
wanna see.
You
Yeah.
can't curse out the tarot reader, mate, when they lose.
Okay.
If they lose, you're not allowed to curse her out.
There's a lot of
Will
asterisks
St Kilda
here.
win? Let's
Okay, here we go.
see.
Okay.
Whoop.
Are they going to fumble the ball like that?
Just like that.
Oh.
I don't know. Oh, so that's
She's manipulating the cards.
that's
Is
a
a good
maybe
tarot
for St
reader,
Kilda.
maybe.
No, so that's my ace of the week.
Very good, that's
they're going to
exciting.
be here for the weekend, show them around the city,
Yep.
and just have a good time.
Brilliant. Sounds very fun. Fitzy.
Mike, tell us your hometown. What's the name of it? I know what it is, but I want to hear it from you.
Cobb Dogler.
Cobb Dog.
and
Cobb Dog.
and Cobby is the
Cobby.
300 people live there. One main
God.
street, but six,
On the northern side of the there's a curve in the river there, isn't there? The Murray
Yes,
River.
yeah.
Okay.
It's in the Riverland region. And 6 nice hard courts there, and we bat above our average on a state scale. We always go to Adelaide for the regional competition
Country
Carnival, and we always do quite well. So it's going to be good for them to come here and
Fantastic.
a nice little change for them.
Yeah,
that's
it's
for
great.
sure.
How long are they staying?
Just the weekend.
Okay.
That's all they can handle.
Okay.
All right, Fitzy, ace of the week
Too
for you. What
much.
have you got?
Well, I walked in here an hour ago and, I was feeling I was early and I was not rushed at all. And I came in and I was feeling relaxed and I took my jacket off. I left
know
it
where
on
this is going.
I left it on the clothes hook.
Yeah.
And I look up at the beginning of the podcast and the host is wearing my jacket.
Not me.
It looks great. Oh, you mean? Oh, this is yours. Whoops.
I got to say, you look good in it. But am I going to get it back? Is my question.
Well, you might, not necessarily today. No, well,
hope you're
I
not
walked
too
in
sweaty.
and I realised that the T-shirt I had on, it wasn't ironed.
It's
It's
not
all,
ironed.
and
Bit
Brie
see-through.
suggested I should cover it, all of it, inclooing stuff.
There's no sweat marks in it now.
no,
is
no.
there? I'm just checking.
It's fine. No, it did have a nice musk to it when I put on. Hopefully that'll rub off. No, Andy, one of our
great.
producers, grabbed it and said, "Oh, there's a random jacket here," and Fitzy just goes, "Yeah, it's my jacket."
It's my favourite brand.
Oh, Kmart.
R.M. Williams.
Oh,
You know the story of R.M. Williams.
I know. You talk
You
at
own boots.
length. I've got Reginald Murray's on my feet
I
right
have
now.
I have a fetish for R.M. Williams
Yes.
boots.
Good.
And so I got a jacket.
How many pairs have you got?
Do I have to answer that?
Hadn't you bought like 3 pairs the last time you were here? Or was that your friend that was with
I
you?
have
No, he was going to
I have a
American
pair
Bar.
for every day of the week.
Okay.
I've got to admit.
All right, so 7 by 600.
Maybe more
Okay.
maybe more than that.
right.
Fashion icon.
But that
Yeah.
was my
I hope
first
they're insured.
That's my first R.M. Williams jacket.
Right.
I bought it. It was special to me. Now I'm not sure how special it still is.
Gosh. I'm being
Anyway,
very
I hope I get
respectful.
it back.
I haven't passed wind once.
Great. I'm not sure I asked that question. But
No, I don't need to be prompted for everything.
We've gone to the dogs.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, thanks
all
for
I've got.
thanks for the loaner.
Pleasure.
Which shall be returned after Express Dry Cleaning.
thanks, Andy.
Ace of the week for myself. Look, it's been a bit of a bumpy week. My son fractured his ankle. He's 5 years old, so he was not too thrilled about it, but he's got his little moon boot on now. But I think the ace of the week for me was related to that. When we dropped off at school, all of his little school buddies came out and were excited to see him
that's
because he's
cute.
got his little crutches, which he was very nervous about. And I'm like, mate, they're all going to want to go have a crack at them. And they did. Everyone wanted to go. The principal came out, his teacher, and everyone. The school was great. So he, not ran off, but he kind of hobbled off on his on his crutches and his little 5-year-old sized moon boot, and had a great day apparently. So yeah, my ace of the week was Mount Macedon Primary School. You are brilliant.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
What about you, Brie?
Do you know what? My ace of the week is oddly related, and we didn't even align this.
Wow.
So, as our listeners probably know, if you've been around for a bit, I am accident prone and have had issues with my ankle, which I did the ligaments in once, then I did it 3 months later. Then what did I do? I sprained my big toe during the AO.
Oh, yeah.
And after the AO, I broke my little toe. And not just broke, I then was playing tennis on the little toe that was broken. And then they were like, you need an x-ray. You've chipped all the bone from jumping while playing tennis horrifically. Anyway, so I've been off my feet other than walking the dog for quite a while. And I like to exercise. I am back running.
Yes.
It's very good news. I'm not running far because I'm so scared now of injuring something.
Yeah.
But I've done
We're
a couple
all
of
scared that you're
Ks
gonna injure
the
something.
last 2 days and I'm feeling good and I'm just happy to be back running.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well
I'm
done.
really excited. Yeah. But stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly. 2 weeks from now, just in full body traction.
Yeah, and I've got a friend who's like, sure, you're not the accident prone, like a newer friend. And then we were out for drinks the other night and I'm getting excited about something. Next minute, I had thrown my hand and thrown the wine glass and the wine went all the way down the back of the man next to me's white Ralph Lauren shirt.
At least it wasn't Aaron Williams.
And I was like, and lucky it was dark because he's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And it was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, and the guy I was with, he was like, you are accident prone. I was like, I am. Anyway, so stay tuned.
Well, that's very good to hear. we're consistently worried about you, but
So are my friends.
Yeah.
You might have
good.
a high pain threshold if you're
I
playing
do
tennis
have
with
a high.
chip. Yeah, with a
I
chip.
do have
I
a
don't
high.
know. She talks
pain.
about it
That's
a lot.
impressive.
No, redheads do. It's like a gene thing.
Okay.
The mutated gene.
How was your
gives
hit of
us that.
tennis amongst your work colleagues the other night?
She stopped playing because they kept destroying her.
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
stopped because I thought I was impacting the enjoyment of
Yeah,
their
You
game.
stopped because you were losing. Come on, Brie.
100%. But you know what? I have fun. That's all that matters.
Good.
I'm playing for the joy these days, Luke.
Well,
need out
you
here.
arrive
Probably
with the
win
joy.
it. You'll probably win.
Exactly.
I might need to pay you to try to
I'm over the
coach
NTC.
me.
Let's go.
He's expensive.
I'll pay it.
Pay in tarot readings. Here you go. Here's
Carlton
a
are going to
luck
win.
card.
Carlton are going to win, so that's
do you know what?
fine.
I actually think they are
That's fine.
going to.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
All right, we've descended to madness as we always do. It's usually my fault. This week it was Brie. So thank you all for being a part of the show.
Pleasure, Zach.
Always fun having you guys. Brie, as usual, hoot and a half.
Great to be here. I'll leave my tarot cards and crystals at home next week.
No, leave them here. Andy wants to have a crack after. He wants to see what Harper's future holds in the edit process. Plenty to be done. Join us again next week as Rome will be getting towards the business end of its event. In the meantime, don't forget you can watch this episode and every episode of The Tennis on the Australian Open YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things. Or share the love, leave a review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. That's it. Thanks, team. Have a great week in
Fitzy
tennis.
and Luke. So
Thanks,
good to have
guys.
you
Pleasure.
both.
Thank you.
Fantastic.